welcome to Goa News Now. Today we have the Goa State Industrial Association President Damodar Koshkarji. Last time when we met him, he had listed out certain demands, with the new government. I have heard that he has also met the new industry minister, Mr. Marvin Gudino, and had discussed in length about the issues. Most importantly, the issue of power and other sectors. So we have him here. We will be asking him what exactly happened when he met the industry minister, Marvin Gudino, sir. So what was the grievance and what happened once you met him and put forth your grievances?
Yeah, actually, you see, we our grievances are known to everybody. It's not that he was not aware of anything, and he had been a industry minister in 90s, so he knows the pain of the industries. So now this time we give him detail, like only the specific points on which we need his assistance in solving, like ease of doing business, like standard operating procedures for every transactions with the government, then our infrastructural issues which are at a peak now. Power issue we had not discussed with him because we met then after that power minister separately, but the mainly the infrastructural issues in the industrial estates, like road conditions, street lighting, garbage disposal, all that thing. And other than that, specific issues which we are facing with other departments, like factories and boiler, the harassment that is done by the factories and boiler in terms of the compliances. Then regarding the fire, so fire also is a very painful issue for the small industries, because they are asking for a special groundwater as per the central this, and even Maharashtra has relieved small industries from that requirement. So that also we are pushing. And thirdly, the pollution control, and for that 15 days to 45 days for retrenchment, that we had asked him to reverse it back if possible.
So once you met him, since you all were familiar with his working style in 1990, he
Yeah,
was already there.
yeah.
What kind of positiveness you got, or what still there were certain questions that were in mind?
No, no. See, he was very clear about his stand as far as the industry is concerned. He said that I will see that whatever issues you are facing all this while, I'll try to resolve them. He also had a meeting with the other associations, and we are also together trying to figure out what policy changes needs to be done in this respect. What are the basic industrial policy that state government has to fix, to avoid this kind of issues. And also there are certain modifications needed in the regulations of the GIDC. So he said I will be working closely also with the regional, means chairman of thing. So we hope that things will be resolved. Let's see.
Well, I also spoke to him before I could speak to you.
Yeah,
I spoke to him 2 days ago. He had categorically said that he wants to revive the whole industry situation,
yeah,
since the industries in from Goa are shifting to outside. He did not took a name of a company that left Goa and settled other places. So this is what kind of a arrangement he is planning up. But one major aspect which I was speaking to you earlier, and I got to know that you were not happy with the chairman's, a politician appointed as a chairman.
yeah.
Now, since you have a politician as a chairman of the Industrial Development Corporation, what is your next, what is your expectation now?
See, we don't mind having chairman of a political lesson as far as he doesn't interfere in the day-to-day activity of the GIDC, for that matter. See, if the policy decision need to be changed, we welcome chairman to a political party to take certain decisions. But in the last tenure, we have noticed that there was lot of day-to-day interferences as far as the services were concerned. Regular services which were supposed to be done online, there was lot of hiccups from that side. The files were missing sometimes. Unless you pay something, the files were moving. So this kind of thing we don't want to happen in this tenure. And I have worked with Reginald also before, and I think that he will give justice to this post.
So you are happy that at least Reginald has taken over now.
Yeah, I have not met him. I want to meet him, brief him what lacunas we had faced last time. So he must be ready so that this doesn't repeat. You know.
One frank opinion, when Marvin Gudino was given this industry charge, what was the first thing that came in your mind? Now things will change or what?
No, actually, see the what we are really facing is, you know, the attitude of the people working in the government, their attitude towards the industry. Now, just take the example of the power issue. Now, power issue, everybody should have suffered, but only the industry had been taxed for the shortage of the power, which is not fair, because industry has been paying the maximum tariff of the power, and this power issue has not happened due to industry, because there are, if you see the purchase index and the build index, you will find almost 20% pilferage of the power. Where that power is going? This is the prime thing that government has to look into. I have noticed many, these days they have put the statues all around the state with the big high marks and all. The power is directly taken from the pole. Who is paying for that? There is no meter. So ultimately, all these losses get built up on the industry, which is not fair.
Well, the new power minister should look into this pilferage of power, because even I know certain cases where the power connections are given directly to these lights, and there is nobody to take care. Nobody is paying for it. Sir, what happened when when you had this situation of power crisis? Have any meeting held, or what exactly was the decision taken during that yesterday's? I heard yesterday you met the power minister and the officials of power department so as to resolve this power crisis. What was the crux of that meeting?
See, basically, see, last 4 days I'm only after this issue. You know, first I met power secretary, I met C. Then on a holiday, power minister were very kind enough to call us in at his residence. We went and met him. He only suggested some solution. Then we had a joint meeting with the power secretary, headed by the power minister, even chief secretary, and all the staff and the industry representatives. So yesterday, what we decided is that additional financial burden, which presently government is not able to take, we agreed to take up that price increase burden, brunt whatever is there, and the HT and the EST consumers will be paying that. I hope that that amount will come less than 1 rupee, but after getting the permission from the JRC, hopefully from tomorrow, I think the power restrictions on the industries will be stopped. That is my hope.
At the moment, how is the situation? Do you have a dedicated line, or still that is in the
No,
demand?
see, so infrastructural issue is still in a demand. Now we are talking only about this crisis, wherein all 120 megahertz, whatever is MW, the deficiency is that is put on directly industries. So all across Goa, 20, 30, like that, all industry powers is being restricted. Not for 1 hour or half an hour, it's for almost 12 hours. Some places from afternoon 3 o'clock, some places starting from 6 o'clock till midnight. So this situation usually will kill the industry, because it is not practical to work on a generator with a high fuel cost. So this is and small industries, it is almost impossible. They have to shut down. So that is why this stopping gap we agreed to.
One, for our viewers, as a layman's language, one example we wanted to give through you. What exactly happens when there is a power cut to the industries for 6 hours, 4 hours? If in terms of economical impact, how much is the economical impact when the industries are losing power and the power is shifted somewhere else, and power shutdown is only for the industries?
See, our entire thing, running of the industry depends on the power. If the power is not there, basically all the employees become idle, production stops, and if you want to run on the genset, it is almost working comes to about 5 times the power cost, which becomes not profitable, and it becomes like you cannot use that much amount and produce and make a loss. So this is a very crazy
Grim.
situation, and we found it very disturbing that without consulting the industry, government could take up such a decision of putting the restrictions directly.
So in the industry should have been taken, into confidence. That's the main line which Kochkarji said. But one thing I wanted to know, when the government had a plan for a new Tamnar, line, dedicated line, do you think that now something should have been done for that, or is it okay with the current situation?
See the see for a longer period, that is a separate thing. See, now presently there is no problem with the line. Main problem is there is less power available in the country. It is not only for this state, entire country there is a power shortage. So what happens when there is a power shortage, the prices in the market of the power increases.
Yeah.
And our Goa government has a slab planned rate. Up to 6 rupees they can purchase the power from the grid, whereas the other states buy up to 12 rupees. See, there is a ceiling put by the central government that any power generation which is sold on the grid can go up to 12 rupees. Now the question was, who will bear this 6 to 12 rupees difference? There is not because of line the power we are not getting. It is because the government is not able to pay for that power. They are not able to pay to run the industry, that extra power. So what we had suggested, that instead of doing these populistic schemes, giving free LPGs, giving 1,500 to people, see, that also budgeted 40 crore. Now if they have to tide over this situation of the private crisis during the summer, it will cost them approximately 40 crore. What is important, you tell me? Running of the industry is important, so that the future growth of the state is looked, future employment generation, or giving away the free LPG so that you ensure the voting for the next, that you people have to
Well, economics says industries are much important than the other kind of schemes as per economics. But what you have said, you have also tried to hint to something that Goa may face future problem with regards to power. Earlier you had infrastructure issues, now you have a power issues.
You see, that power issue is bound to happen, because see, we are now auctioning the plots, SEZ plots. Almost 35 lakh square meter plot will be auctioned. So the plot owners won't buy the plots and sit idle. They'll put the industry. So there will be a rise in the requirement of the power. Has government thought about it? Has government thought about from where this power will come? At what rate it will come? Is there any work done on the renewable power generation, like solar power? I see absolutely no work. If you see Karnataka is producing almost 7,000 now. They are number one. After that, Andhra, Kerala, and Goa is having hardly 60. That also the local private people who have put that solar panels on their own. From government side, there is no steps taken to do this.
Well, the government needs to actually think into this aspect, because what Mr. Kochkar has said, Goa will plunge into a deep trouble if situations are not corrected at the moment. Renewable source of energy is the only medium now, and power generation also should be taken seriously. I have heard that there was a power plant in Zuarinagar area. If I'm not mistaken, it was some Reliance. What happened? Those kind of industries come, but they can't sustain.
Reliance power quality was very good. But ultimately what they started extorting money, because their price cost of the power went up to 17 rupees. And finally what they were started doing is they were buying the power from the government and selling us.
Okay.
So then many people shifted back to this. So the cost also is a major factor. Power, quality of the power, and at what cost you get it.
But in long run, do we require to have our own power generation plants somewhere in down the line?
I don't think so. We don't have that much power. We are getting the power from the other states, and the sensitivity of the Goa and cultural heritage and people of Goa. I would not suggest that power generation plant should come in Goa. we are also opposing the coal movement. We generate power for us somewhere else. If we are that sensitive, the question about generating power by coal means is out of question. But I would say that they can look
Hydro.
at they can hydro also is a possibility in Goa, and solar is a main thing they can work on, and natural gas power generation plant, that is also natural gas can be used by the industries who can convert their from electrical power to the gas power.
As per normal people, do you think that this kind of power crisis will also shift to the residents, other local area, or not only industry but even the residential units will have this kind of problems?
See, actually, if you see, as per JRC norms, if there is a shortage, it has to be equally distributed by the all consumers. Now, see, industry is not going that violently against this. If anybody moves to the court, to JRC, within 15 days, JRC can give a mandate that this shutdown should be spread over all across from all the consumers. That will include the domestic also. So we understand that this is a summer, and if the domestic power is cut off, it will be like a havoc, and then only this government will shake and wake up.
Well, the message is clear. Industries are quiet because they have thought about the situation that would be faced by the domestic consumer, but industries cannot be quiet for long.
Yeah.
Sometimes somehow they will be raising their voice, so it is best for the state administration, especially the power ministry, to look into this aspect. Likewise, we are standing here, there is a power
Yeah, we are talking that.
solar, what is
Yeah.
that thing happening here?
See, they have put up a solar generation plant. Individual. See, they have done on their individual capacity. So here the power of 130 kV will be produced, which will suffice their 85% of the power requirement.
So industries here are making their own arrangements for the power
Yeah.
arrangements. There are attempts being made, but government side there should be more encouragement
Yeah.
for such things. So that is what is the requirement at the moment. Let's hope that the industries, Damodar Kochkarji again have no other issues. Likewise, in past he has been always complaining that this is having a problem that should have been, I think industry should focus more on the production rather than looking after infrastructure.
Yeah, that absolutely. See, our main focus has to be on the production. Then only the economy will increase. The income to government also will increase if the industry functions well. This is the main thing what we want to concentrate on, not on the problems.
So we also hope that the industry doesn't concentrate more on the problems. Thank you, sir. Thank you to come on our show and enlightening us from your visions. We will be also talking to the other stakeholders from the industry to look after what exactly is happening and how this situation or this crisis can be resolved. We hope that the new industry minister will definitely look into the other infrastructure related problems faced by the industries. Other aspects, as you said, you have already spoken to the power minister Sudhin Davekar. So things might change. Let's keep finger crossed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Keep watching Goa News Now.